Dear children, all of you fed up with this corona season? Let's talk about some interesting things. I'm here with a lot of interesting things to you. Okay, did you see this picture? Where it is? It's a place in Uttarakhand. That is Valley of Flowers National Park. Do you heard about national parks? There are 5 national parks in Kerala. Periyar National Park and Iravikulam National Park are 2 among the 5. One of the attractions in Iravikulam National Park is the presence of Neelakurinji. It blooms once in every 12 years. This is Neelakurinji. It's a beautiful sight that this Kurinji flowers adorned in that valley. That valley is full of these flowers at that time. It will be a beautiful sight, isn't it? Flowers makes this world so beautiful. The human beings started to make gardens from very early in the history. Do you heard about 7 ancient wonders in the world? Hanging gardens in Babylon is one among them. Do you know why it is termed as hanging gardens? Because every plant is potted in the top of the pillars or roofs, not in the ground. That is why it is termed as hanging gardens built by Nebuchadnezzar. You are familiar of different types of flowering plants, isn't it? Let's make our first activity. Activity number 1. List out the flowering plants familiar to you and draw pictures of it. The list may be of ixora, hibiscus, orchid, potlaca or 10 o'clock plant, mirabilis or 4 o'clock plant, jasmine, zinnia, lotus, water lily, rose, etc. Include at least 10 flowers in your list. What are the uses of these plants? Flowers used for ornamental purposes, used for food, for example, cauliflower. Next is for performing rituals like marriages or rituals in temples, churches, etc. And for tourism purposes like flower shows taking place in Ooty, Bangalore, etc. And next is for making perfumes and for making cosmetics, soaps, etc. These are some of the examples for the uses of plants. You can collect more about it. Let's go to the next activity, that is activity number 2. What are the uses of flowers? What are the uses of flowers? And the second one, how the flowers differ each other in its color, shape, number of petals, etc. You can write anything as your answer. That is activity number 2. Okay. We discussed here about the uses of flowers to us. Now let's discuss what are the uses of flowers to plants. For plants, what are the uses of these flowers? For what plants produce flowers? What is the purpose behind the production of flowers? There are plants that are not producing flowers. Do you know which are they? Look at the picture. There is mosses, means bryophytes, or ferns, otherwise called pteridophytes. These mosses and ferns are plants that will not produce flowers. Okay, they will not produce fruits and seeds as well. So, flowering plants only possess fruits and seeds. By producing flowers, plants then making fruits leads to seed formation. Seeds give rise to next generation of plants. So, flowers helps the plants to reproduce their young ones. Living beings have the capacity to produce their young ones. Plants are living beings, so plants can reproduce Flowers are the reproductive organs in plants. So flowers are important to plants. Now we are going to understand about the parts of flowers, its functions and the developmental process thereafter. Okay, you are aware of the different types of flowers from the largest flower, that is Rafflesia, to the longest flower, Titan arum. Am I right? Your favorite flower may be a rose or a jasmine, etc. But whenever we want to study about the floral parts, we should select a hibiscus flower because of its availability, simplicity, and presence of all the parts in a single flower. So let's take a hibiscus flower. It has 6 parts. The first one is pedicel. It is a stalk that connects the flower with the plant. So its function is to connect the plant with flower. The second part is thalamus. It is a swollen, bulged portion known as thalamus or receptacle. In the hibiscus flower, it is just after the pedicel. The swollen portion is a greenish colored and it holds different parts of the flower. The next portion is the calyx. It is the first whorl of the flower and it is also greenish in color. It protects the flower when it is a bud and holds the petal after it blooms. Single unit of calyx is known as a sepal. In a hibiscus flower, there are first 5 sepals united to form a calyx. It is the first whorl. Then corolla. The next whorl is corolla. It is a brightly colored showy whorl of the flower. It provides color, fragrance, and attractiveness to flower. In hibiscus, there are 5 petals. It is a single unit of corolla known as petals, collectively known as corolla. Then the next portion is the male reproductive part of the flower known as androecium. The single unit of androecium is a stamen. In a hibiscus flower, it locates in the center around the tube. It consists of a filament and anther. Filament is a narrow pipe-like structure and at the tip of it is the anther. Anther is a round bulge-like portion. Inside the anthers, pollen grains are seen. Inside the pollen grain, male gamete is found. We discussed that the androecium is seen in the center around the tube. It is numerous in hibiscus. Its number is numerous and the single unit of androecium is called stamen. The last one, female reproductive part of the flower, is gynoecium. It consists of a basal swollen portion called ovary. Inside the ovary there are ovules are seen. From the ovary there starts a shining white colored tube called a style. It ends in a 5-lobed structure in hibiscus called a stigma. In certain other flowers, it is a 2-lobed or 3-lobed or single structure called a stigma. These are the important parts of a flower. Observe the concept map here. The first one is pedicel, connect the plant with flower. Second one is thalamus or receptacle. It holds the floral whorls. And the third one is calyx. It protects the flower when it is in a bud. And the fourth one is corolla, consists of 5 petals. It is a showy, attractive wall of the plant, helps to attract the insects for pollination. And the next one is androecium or filament and anther together constitute a stamen. In the anthers, pollen grains are seen. Inside the pollen grains, male gametes are formed. And the sixth one is gynoecium. Gynoecium consists of 3 parts, that is ovary, style and stigma. Inside the ovary, ovules are seen. Okay, now you can identify the different parts of a flower. I am included a video along with this class. Watch it out. It deals with how you can dissect a hibiscus flower. Take care when you handle with a blade. Okay. Let's complete our third activity. Activity number 3. The first question, match the following in page number 32 of your basic science textbook. And the second activity is to draw the longitudinal section of a flower and label each part. Okay, we are now familiar with different parts of a hibiscus flower. Every flower around you have these parts. So try to identify these parts in other flowers too. Firstly, you should have to dissect a hibiscus flower and post the photograph in your class groups. Continue the experimental process with different flowers and take down your inferences. Now here comes our activity number 4. Dissect a hibiscus flower and find out its parts. The second question, dissect other flowers that are familiar to you and identify the parts. Okay, so it's enough for today. Trust in the next class. Okay.